I'll be honest with you. I love big words, but I can't always remember big words. So in this video, we'll look at the big words that OAuth uses most frequently and try to break each one down into smaller, more memorable pieces. To start, we have the resource owner, which is often thought of as just the user, but is actually the person or machine who should be able to access something. Now that something is a protected resource, which is also just a fancy way to refer to that thing I only want certain people to touch. To put it in context, this might be the photo album in your social media account that you want to upload embarrassing karaoke pictures into. Now this brings us to the relying party, which is not the most boring party ever, but is instead the party or application that must rely on another source for authentication. This might be the social media platform that needs some other source to confirm that the user is allowed to access those prized karaoke pictures. Now, that other source that the relying party uses to determine a user's authorization is called the Authorization Server. This term tends to get muddied the most and can be called a range of things like Authorization Provider or OIDC Provider. I personally prefer the term Authorization Provider because the actor provides authorization as a service and is not necessarily a freestanding server. The authorization provider will usually be a third-party source like Google or Beyond Identity that provides authentication as a service so that your users can log in. Now, once the user is authenticated, the relying party is able to retrieve one or more tokens, which provide critical information. There are two key tokens that you need to be aware of, and those are the access token and the ID token. The ID token is optional and may be requested in a number of various ways. It's intended specifically to be used by the client-facing portion of the relying party to identify aspects about the user. The access token, on the other hand, is intended to be used by the server-facing side of the relying party and should never be visible to the client. It is used to provide authenticated access to upstream servers or services, kind of like that photo album service, so you can go and delete those karaoke pictures before it's too late. Seriously, you should probably delete those. Now that we understand these basic terms, we'll be ready to start working through a diagram like this one in the next video.